And what is CRM and what do I mean by CRM? So what exactly CRM stands for? What is a CRM? First of all, CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. So before I jump into CRM, let's take a small scenario. Let's suppose you are the owner. You are owner of a business and your company, they used to sell products in the market. So you have got distributors in different regions. You have got distributors and customers in different regions. So initially, when you started the business, that time you have got limited customers or limited distributors, let's say two, three distributors and one or two customers. So to manage their details, to manage their records is not a difficult task. We can manage their details in a notebook or in a hard copy, or we can remember their details in our mobile phones. We can store their details in our mobile phones, like their contact numbers and their anniversaries, their birthdays, and there's like some personal details as well, like birthdays and so on, because they are very important to us. So we would like to manage their details. We would like to maintain their details, uh, so that we can connect to them. We can send we can anytime whenever it is required, we can connect to them and we can send messages to them. So it's not a big deal for a small number of customers or distributors. But as the business grows and more customers they join or more distributors connect with us, then to manage their details become a difficult task. Like if we have to manage their personal details or their official details or any sort of details, if we have to manage the details in the form of a hard copy or on our mobile phone, so then it would be a very difficult task. So what can we do? We can take the help of systems, we can take the help of computers, and we can store their details in Excel sheet or in a notepad. But again, if I want to connect to them, if I want to check their details, like how many, what orders they have given to us, or which customer has given maximum orders to us, or maximum business, or highest business in the current financial year. So there are lots of information, there are so many questions which can be raised by the decision makers of a company, and those questions can be answered if the data is stored in a in a proper way. So for that case, we can use the data sets, we can use database. Either we can use SQL database or Oracle database or a structured database, I means to say that. And if we are using structured database, then we required an application to interact with that data set. So then an application is required to connect to that data set, so that we can manage the data, we can manage the records. Now the question comes again, that because the application is required, database is required. So again, the database will be going to store on our server, application will be going to install, developed and install, launch somewhere. So and the connection should be established between them. So again, it's a tedious task, and if the connection breaks between the application and the data set, then the data will be lost, or we would not be able to get the data. So in that case, CRM comes into the picture. By using CRM, the database and the application, they will reside on the same place, at the same place or the same location, and the application can always be connected to the database. And the best part with CRM is that all the different, means all the departments of a company, like the sales department or the marketing department or the customer service department, they can extract the database or they can share the database. They can access each other database after proper authorization or after proper access. So that's the job role of a CRM. So CRM not only manage the customer records, CRM also maintain their transactions. If any order has been placed by the customer, so how many orders has been placed, whether which order has been placed successfully or delivered successfully, or which order has not yet means which order has not yet been placed, or which is not delivered, or which order has been cancelled. So everything can be tracked by using CRM very easily. So CRM is used by the companies to manage and analyze customer interaction and data throughout the customer life cycle. Customer life cycle means as soon as the customer interact with a company, interact with an organization, it enters into a life cycle, and that life cycle will last till the customer didn't complete the order, or the customer didn't get receive the order, right? So that's the job role of a crm. And by using crm we can do a lot of things. By using crm we can manage the customer records, we can retain the existing customer, means we can do the planning that how can we retain the existing customer and how can we attract new customers. So crm is a shift from traditional marketing as it focus on retention of customers in addition to the acquisition of new customers. One second. So using crm, like once in traditional marketing, what happened, that once we have got the customers, once the customer connect to us, we do not connect to that customer again, and we don't bother whether that customer interact with us again or not, or whether that customer again place an order with us or not. But in today's business, in current business, we used to focus basically on the retention of the existing customers as well as the acquisition of the new customers, because more customer means more business. So that's why we don't want to lose any customer. So the companies, they plan new strategies to retain the existing customer. So it means there is a real time example that, let's suppose for example, I registered on a Flipkart and I did shopping from a Flipkart 6 months ago, and from last 6 months I didn't place any order, or I didn't visited the Flipkart. Then what happened after 3 months or after 4 months, or you can say after a specific time, I start receiving emails from the Flipkart that we didn't heard from you from long time. So we have launched we are offering some new discounts, we are offering some additional discounts to our existing customers, or if you are a SBI card holder, we will give you 1% additional discount. So what are all these things? All these are strategies to get new customers as well as acquire the or to retain the existing customers, right? So that all these things can be planned within crm, and it allows companies to coordinate their approach across channels, departments, and also geographically means nowadays the business, they are located in different regions, means they are the business, they expand the business globally. So they would like to collect the data globally from all the regions. So in that case there should be a centralized database where the data will be stored in a centralized location, and means all the departments of a company, or all the regions, the from all the regions, the data can be accessed because the data is stored on a centralized basis. Now the best part with crm is, as I told you, that the application and the database, they resides on the same location. The database will be stored on a centralized location, and it will be a central data, and the application can access the data from any part of the globe. And 24/7 accessibility is there because the data and the application will be stored on the data centers, and the data centers are highly secured. Okay, now in Salesforce, in terms of Salesforce, the Salesforce has got data centers, and the data will be stored on the data centers. Okay, data will be stored on the data centers, and the data will be accessed from any part of the globe by using the application. So crm will be going to provide an interface. By using that interface, the users or the clients or the company, they can access the data, and the data will be stored as a backend at a single location. So I have tried to explain crm by using this image. So as you can see here, there's a back office, and in this back office they would like to access the customer information, customer record for the marketing or for to do some analysis. Now how they are going to do is, they will first of all they will prepare a customer data set. Now there are different sources, there are various ways to get the customer data and stored in this customer database. Now what are the ways? Like through web and email, through call centers, through fields, and through partners. So there are different business partners. Through those business partners, the companies, they can get the customer records and stored in the data set. There are call centers, so they provide means they connect with the call centers, and they outsource their requirements to the call centers, and the call centers will make a phone call to the customers and collect their information and store in the customer data set. Through web and email, through various surveys, the companies, they do various surveys, they launch different surveys, and they connect to the company, they connect to the customers through by doing surveys and all. And once the information is collected, they store all the customer data into the customer data set. So this is a centralized database, and the back of they can access the database, the customer record, for marketing purpose of to do some analysis, right? So that's the job role of a CRM. So CRM basically, it can be used to get the customer record, customer it can be used to manage or to maintain a relationship between customer and sales team, customer and marketing team, customer and customer service team. How CRM is used today in current market. So how CRM is useful basically. So customer business data to help you provide service or product that your customer wants. So if we have the customer transactions, if we have the customer requirements, so by using that customer requirement, we can analyze that what kind of product customer is looking for, or in the specific region the customer, they like what kind of product. So the companies, they can plan to sell the similar kind of product in that specific region. Let's take a very small example. There's a Walmart. I believe that all of you have heard Walmart is a big superstore chain. And Walmart has got store in India as well as in China as well. And Walmart, they decided to sell a product in Indian market as well as in Chinese market. So before launching a product in Indian market or in both the market, they will do the surveys. So let's suppose the Walmart, they decided to sell the Indian food items in Chinese market. But as you know, the eating habits of Indian people and Chinese people, they are totally different. So what they will do is, they will just first do the survey, and based on the survey, the Walmart, they will be going to decide that what kind of product will be sold in which market. Okay, because the Chinese people, they would like to have meat in almost every product, and Indian people, they don't like meat, especially the beef meat. Okay, beef and pork. Like the chicken can be eaten, so there will be a separate section for meat, but in China you can find out the meat in almost everywhere, in almost every section, right? So before launching any product, before uh, selling a product in a market, they would like to do the survey. So the companies, they want to do the survey. So CRM helps into that. So by using CRM, they can manage the customer data, they can manage the customer records, and the customer requirements, and based on that, the surveys the product can be planned, or the sale can be planned, product sale can be planned. It provides better customer cross-sale and upsell more effectively by using CRM. So selling of the product, cross-sale and upsell can be planned more effectively. And by using CRM, all the close and the successfully converted deals along with the customer details will be displayed to the decision makers, to the marketing manager, or to the sales manager. So let's say the sales manager would like to know that how many deals have been closed successfully in the current financial year, and based on that, they can calculate the profit of the company. In similar way, if any deal, so they also would like to know that how many, which deal has not yet been closed, or we lost the deal, so why do we lost the deal, what were the issues with that, is it possible to get the deal again, to gain the lead by giving some additional benefits to the customer, or some additional discounts to the customer. So these all are strategies to plan to attract, to get the customers, right? It provides enough details so that the company can offer the client the product service that matches their needs the best. Again, so if they have the customer requirement, customer details, so they can plan this, means they can plan the they can offer the product or the service that matches their needs, the customer needs. And it may contains information about the customer's past purchases, who is involved with the account, and a summary of all conversation. So by using CRM, not only the customers, the companies can also track that how many orders have been placed by the customer, or all the previous purchases done by this customer, if any conversation has been taken place between the customer and the sales or the marketing team or the customer service team. Let's suppose the customer raise an issue about a product, so the service manager would like to know whether has been resolved. So he will be going to prepare a report that how many issues have been generated in the in within last week, so and how many issues have been resolved. So if any issues has not yet resolved, so what was the issue, what was the outcome for that, what are the solution given to that customer, okay, why the issue has not yet been resolved. So based on that, based on that, they can track the performance of their employees, right? So all these are means all these things can be done within CRM. Now, what else can we do with CRM? What are the strategies? It can understand the needs of the customer. It helps the company to retain customers through better customer experience. It helps the company to attract new customers, win new clients and contracts, increase the profitability, and decrease customer management costs. Because everything is managed under one roof, the customer information, the product details, the customer details, the distributor details, and the customer orders and the customer complaints, everything will be managed under one roof. So it decreases the customer management cost. So for that, they don't require the separate applications for everything. Okay, so everything can be managed under one roof. Now let's talk about the life cycle of a CRM. Life cycle of a CRM, as you know that every business or every operation which we are going to perform, there will be a life cycle of that. So in similar way, in CRM there is a life cycle, and the life cycle starts with the campaign. So just imagine that the company ABC, they decided to launch a product in the market, they want to sell a product in the market, but the very first thing they are going to do is they are going to do the marketing of a product, and that can be done by using campaign. So by launching a campaign, the company can launch a campaign and they provide details to the customers. Okay, they can do the advertisement among the customers now about the product, and the advertisement can be done, or the campaign can be done in various ways, like road shows, televisions, FM radios, banners, posters, like, or door-to-door surveys, one-to-one surveys in supermarkets, okay, supermarket surveys, like, so all these can be done. And once the surveys can be done or the campaign is launched, the customer is start inquire about the product. So once the customer connect with the company regarding a product or inquire about a product, it's stored as a lead. So basically leads are the customers, or the leads, we can say that leads are the customer details or customer information, who show in means who maybe they shown their interest in the product. So those information, those customer information will stored as a lead. And then once the leads gets generated, our marketing team, they start connecting to the customer and convince them to place an order with them. So once a customer confirm the order, means once the customer confirm that that leads converts into opportunity, and remove the data from the lead area, or it will be stored as a closed lead. Now the lead can be qualify or a disqualify. If it is qualify, it converts into opportunity or is stored as an opportunity. If the lead disqualify, if the customer say no, I'm not interested right now, I have already purchased a product, I have already got a product in lesser price and all, so that deal will be, that lead will be closed as disqualify, and it will be put into the database. It will be stored as a in another data set. So it converts into opportunity. So still in opportunity, they are potential customers. Might be possible they are waiting for the customers, they are waiting for some better deal. So now the negotiation will start between the company and the customer. And once the negotiation is fine, so negotiation can be done on various ways. Negotiation can be done on price, negotiation can be done on the offers which the company is giving, negotiation can be done on the service contract. Okay, and once the negotiation is completed, now the customer will decide whether he would be going to place, finally he would be going to place an order or not. So if he confirm that the customer is interested and he is ready to place an order, then the purchase order will generate, then the sales order will generate, product will be delivered, and the invoice will be given to the customer. And if the customer is not happy with the offers or the service contract given by the company, that opportunity will be closed as lost. So we can have 50-50 win-win situation. Still in opportunity, we will have the 50-50 situation. Maybe the customer will place an order or maybe not. So it depends on, it means everything depends on the terms and the condition between the company and the customer. So that's the life cycle of a CRM. So we are going to work in the same process, in the same flow. First we start with the campaign, then we generate leads, then we work on opportunities, and so on. And this opportunity will not go stand alone. In this opportunity, the service contract will be going to add, the product details will be going to add, and then the quotation will be generated. Okay, and once the quotation is confirmed by the customer, then the purchase order will be generated. So quotation also plays an important role. So that's the life cycle of a CRM. Now, how about Salesforce? I have already explained about Salesforce in previous session. Like in demo session, I've already told about Salesforce, that Salesforce is an online, it's a cloud solution. First of all, Salesforce is a 100% cloud solution. There is no setup file available, there is no installation file available for Salesforce. You do not need to install Salesforce on a local system, and the database will also go along with Salesforce. So the database and the application will be stored on the data centers, and we only required a browser and a net connection in our system. And if both of them are available with us, we can access our application after proper authorization. Right, and the data centers are accessed from the data centers are globally accessed, means from any part of the globe we can connect to the data centers and we can access our application. So we are not going to interact with the data directly, we are going to develop an application in Salesforce, and through that application we will be going to manage the data. Either we need to store the data or retrieve the data or delete the data or edit the data. So all the data manipulation operations, like the insert, update, delete, okay, so all these operations will be performed by using a Salesforce application. So in our regular sessions we are going to design an application as required, because when we first registered with Salesforce, we will get three applications. Basically there are one application with three different functional areas like sales, marketing, and customer service. But let's suppose if the company say means my requirement is I need to develop a banking application or a real estate application or a financial application or any HR application. So in that, those applications are not available by default. So in that case, the company either they outsource their requirements to the companies who are designing, who are developing applications, or they hire developers to develop an applications for them. And because the changes might be requiring, the changes might required of means The changes are required frequently, so that's why the companies, they hire developers to make the changes into to modify the applications, right? So first of all, we are going to register on Salesforce, and then we will be going to see how to work on a Salesforce. So to register on Salesforce, we'll simply go to www.salesforce.com. Let me open it. www.salesforce.com. And in this salesforce.com, you will get two options: login and free trial. If you have already subscribed the Salesforce, you can directly click on login and provide your details, credentials, and log in into your application. If you are new to Salesforce, click on free trial. Now the issue here is, when we click on free trial, it's a 30 days trial version. So after 30 days, whatever customization you have done, whatever development you have done, all the development and the customization will be lost if you do not subscribe a subscription. So after 30 days, you need to get a subscription. Then how we are going to deal with that, because the subscription cost, I've already shared the subscription cost, or provide the subscription cost in demo session, that there are 5 subscriptions available for Salesforce, and the most popular edition is the enterprise edition, which costs $125 per user per month. So the subscription cost is bared by the company itself. You don't have to bear the subscription cost. But in this case, in our during our training, we are not going to subscribe. Otherwise, what happened? We have to pay $125 apart from the training cost. So that's why I'm going to tell you a solution, a way through that, through which you can register on Salesforce, and you can use the same subscription, same credentials as long as you want. It will be a never expire version, but obviously although it's a never expire version, so there will be some limitations. And how we are going to register on that? So instead of salesforce.com, it would be suggest to open developer.force.com. So because this developer.force.com, this platform is mainly for developers, so it is suggestible, instead of registering on salesforce.com, always register on developer.force.com, so it will automatically redirect to salesforce.com. So this developer.salesforce.com, it's a platform which will be provided by Salesforce for developers, so that they can register here and they can work here. But, and you can see there is no free trial option available. There is an option for sign up, so we can click on sign up. Obviously it's a never expire versions, but there are few limitations, like you cannot store up more than 5 MB of space. You cannot create limited, you cannot, means you can only register limited number of users. Okay, so there are some limitations with this, and but you can use this subscription as long as you want. So this subscription will never expire. So let me register here. So I'll provide my details. Here you need to provide your mail ID, proper mail ID, because will be going to receive the email. You will be going to receive the username and password, or the link to set up a password on the same email. And in future, for security access, this email is required. So provide correct email ID here. Developer, company name BISP, India, something like this. Username can be anything, but it should be in the form of an email address, but does not have a real email. So I'll give Sumit SUMIT 03052016 @bisp.com. Check this option. Check this option and sign me up. So it will check for duplicate. Okay, it will check for duplicate username. If the username already exists, it will throw an error message. Otherwise, it will give a message that the sign up is success, and to check the email to confirm the account. So we need to check our mail account for confirmation. And for confirmation, you see I got an email, your developer edition login information. So that's the credential, that's the username, but there is no password available. There is no password provided. Okay, there is no password given. So we need to provide a password as well. And how can we set a password? By using this link. So I click on this link, and it will take me to the section where I can share, means I can set a password. So first of all, we need to set a password, then we can log in into our Salesforce account. And these are the restriction, password restriction. It should be 8 characters, at least 1 letters and 1 number. So I specify BISP12345. And that's the security code if you forgot the password. Now you must be wondering that you can see my username. I can tell you the password as well, but still you would not be able to log in into, even though you have you have my username, password, even though you would not be able to log in into Salesforce by using my credentials, because once I logged in, let's say I click on change password and I have logged in successfully into Salesforce. Now even if I provide you the username, it means if I share the credentials with you, even though you would not be able to access, you would not be able to access my you cannot access my you cannot access Salesforce, because you cannot access my application, because Salesforce tracks IP address. For example, if I say, let me see the login history. If I click on login history, I'll show you this login history. See, it's tracking the IP. That's my IP. So every time when I logged in or anyone logged in into Salesforce, it tracks the IP. And here Salesforce Salesforce will be going to track that this particular user uses which IP address to logged in previously, and if the existing IP and the current IP address would not be same, then it will throw an error message, and it will ask for validation, it will ask for verification code. So in that time, a verification code be sent on the registered mail ID, and the registered mail email ID address you don't have, means then you don't have access to my mail ID, and you would not be able to get the registration code. It's like OTP. So you don't have that OTP, you don't have one-time password, so you will not be able to log in into my application. So like this, the Salesforce keeps the data safe, or keeps the application safe. Right? Setup is a very important option in Salesforce. If you have drilled down to certain level and you want to get back to the home page or to the previous page or to the default screen, simply click on setup and it will take you to the default screen. See, I clicked on setup and it will redirect me to the default page. It is similar in like in Facebook. In Facebook we drill down to certain posts and all, and if you want to get back to the home page, we simply click on the Facebook icon on the top right, on the top left, and it take us to the home page, okay, or to the default page. In same way, when we click on setup, we can get back to the home page, to this page. And also we will be getting on the left side, you can see there are various options are coming, like these are the different options. So we are going to use these options one by one. Obviously it's not possible to cover all the options because there are more than 100 500 options are available, so it's not possible to complete all the options, to cover all the options. But in this session, in regular session, I will be going to cover the options which are frequently used by a developer, and as well as some means which will be frequently used by a developer, and which you are also going to use as a developer. So I will be going to cover those points, those options first, right? So that's the application, that's the Salesforce CRM interface. And you can see, so let me just give you a quick overview of the Salesforce. So at the top right, you can see there is an app menu, force.com app menu, and this force.com app menu will give you an access to switch from one application to another. So by default, I'm on sales application. If I want to switch to marketing application or call center application, call center is equal to customer service. If I want to switch to that application, simply click on this drop down arrow and click on that application. It will redirect me, it will switch to that application. See, it changed to marketing. In similar way, if we have our own application. So all these are standard applications. And okay, all these are standard applications. So if I would like to switch to my own application, my custom application, we can switch from here. In Salesforce we have applications. Okay, now before we actually jump into the Salesforce, let's, I believe that all of you are aware of database. What can we do with database? Like, database is used to store the data, and we can perform various operations on the database. Like, we can work on DML operations like insert, update, delete, right? And also we can specify the DDL operations like create, update, create and delete the table. In similar way, in Salesforce also we can perform all the DML and DDL operations. Like, you can see these opportunities, contact, lead, all these are called objects. Objects are similar to the tables. Like in database, if we talk about a structured database or SQL or Oracle, what we do is, first of all, we used to set up a database. Within database we used to set up a table, because without database we cannot create a table. And within table we used to create fields, or we give them attributes as well sometimes. And then we used to set up records, or we used to create records. So if you want to create a record, you should have a table with fields and attributes, and the tables will reside in the database. Without database, without setting up a database in SQL or in Oracle, we cannot create a table. And without table we cannot create records. Okay, we can insert records only into tables which have got fields and attributes. Similar way in Salesforce, because Salesforce is going to Salesforce is used to store the customer data, product information, distributor details and all. It means they are going to manage the data. So Salesforce also store the data in a structured manner, in a structured way. So Salesforce has got application which is equivalent to database. Within application we are going to create objects which is equivalent to tables. Within object we are going to fields and attributes. We can call them fields or attributes. They are similar to the fields and attributes in data set. And then we can create records. We can create data, insert data into it. Right? So in Salesforce, we are going to call application, which is equivalent to database. So now I'm going to call, if I'm talking about object, it means I'm talking about tables. So if I'm talking about records or data, so that is records. And if I'm talking about fields, attributes, and if I'm talking about application, it means I'm talking about database. So these are the keywords which you need to remember in your, which you need to keep in your mind now. Right? So that's the application flow design of a Salesforce. Now in Salesforce we have application. So application, we have standard application, as well as we can have custom application. Custom application will be designed by user, by developer. Standard applications are existing application. Then we have objects. So objects also we can have standard object, as well as we can build custom objects. Similar way, we can have fields or attributes. So we have standard fields or custom fields. Okay, standard fields or custom fields. So standard application, standard objects, standard fields are pre-built, and custom application, custom object, custom fields, we are going to design by ourselves. We are going to build by ourselves as required. So before you start actual implementation of a Salesforce application, you should have a requirement. You need to get a requirement from your client, that what object is client is required, what kind of information need to be stored in that object, what will be the application name, okay, and what are the objects are going to use, what kind of information is going to be stored. So you should have a proper requirement document. You need to have a requirement document from your client, and based on that requirement document you can start developing, you can start designing your application, or you can start building your application. Right? So similar way in our regular sessions, first of all, means every whenever we have our session, so before starting our application, we'll talk about scenario. It will be a scenario based training. Okay, it will be a scenario based training. So first of all, we'll talk about a scenario that I have got, a means scenario, you can say requirement, business requirement, basically business requirement, that's my business requirement, that's the scenario. And based on that scenario, based on that business requirement, we'll find out that this is the requirement, this is the final outcome, and how can we complete this, how can we achieve this by using within Salesforce. Okay, so that requirement, that final output, we will have that, but how to actual achieve that, how can we achieve that, that will be going to do by using CRM, by Salesforce. How can we achieve that, we'll be going to see that. So in Salesforce there are various options available. We are going to use those options to fulfill the business requirement, to achieve the business requirement, right? So